The island of the SKOG. It was National Rodent Day, a very important holiday for mice. Sort of like New Year's, Independence Day, Halloween, and your birthday all rolled into one. The neighborhood in which the mice lived was very dangerous because of mean animals like the butcher's cat, the German shepherd, and the members of the Riff Raff Rat Club. So these mice, Hannah, Wooster, Louise, Bouncer, and his buddies from the bowling alley rarely came out of their holes. But when National Rodent Day rolls around, the mice want to celebrate. They had all agreed to meet at their friend Jenny's place, the old clock in the antique shop.
I'm gonna print you in.
They all arrived shaking after a narrow escape from the butcher's cat. The mice were so badly frightened that Jenny decided to skip the main course and to wheel in the dessert right away. "Hot marshmallow cheesecake with raspberry fudge sauce," she announced. But the butcher's cat had slipped in with the delivery boy. Fortunately, the delivery boy heard the commotion and grabbed the cat just as the mice escaped to the basement.
"Let's fight for freedom," cried Bouncer. "We'll be soldiers, rough-riding rowdies. I'll be the general and commander-in-chief."
"Wait," cried Jenny. "I have a better idea." And she pointed up the basement stairs to the main part of the antique shop. High on the shelf was a model of a sailing ship, a ship much like the one Christopher Columbus sailed to America. But this was just the right size for a crew of mice. "Let's sail away instead. We'll find a peaceful island."
"I'll be the ship's captain," declared Bouncer. "Rowdies, you're my crew. The rest of you, look alive and lend a helping hand."
It took the mice most of the night to load the ship and roll it to the harbor. Ignoring the crowd at the pier, they sailed bravely out to sea. During the first few days of the voyage, the mice feasted on chocolate waffles and coconut cherry cheese pie. Between meals, they dreamed of their island and tanned their pelts in the sun. As the days passed, it grew colder and colder. The mice were unprepared for winter weather, and they huddled close to the waffle iron. The mice were beginning to think that they would never find the island of their dreams. By the time they reached warmer seas, their food supplies were very low. The mice were seasick, homesick, and convinced they would soon be dead. Suddenly, Jenny cried, "Land ho!" Wooster, who was the scholar on board, looked in the geography book. He said, "The book calls it the island of the SKOG. It says population 1 SKOG, but it doesn't say what a SKOG is." "If there's only one, then there's plenty of room for all of us," said Louise. "Why don't we bring it a gift so it will know we're friendly?"
Wait a minute, flubberhead, snapped Bouncer. Suppose this SKOG is dangerous. Let's blaze our way to the island and show him we mean business.
The rowdies fired all 12 cannonballs. And then the mice waded cautiously ashore.
I claim this land, cried Bouncer, as a place where all mice can live without fear. We will build a great kingdom dedicated to the freedom of mice. And I will be the king.
Here, we can all feel like kings, said Jenny. And that is the most important part of being king, as everyone knows. After unloading the supplies, the mice climbed back aboard the ship to spend the night. They were anxious to go exploring in the morning and needed a good night's sleep. At dawn, they discovered an enormous footprint in the sand. It was bigger than any mouse could ever make.
It looks like a bear track, said Hannah. Stand aside, tenderfeet, ordered Bouncer. This is a job for me and my rough-riding rowdies. We'll use my grandpap's favorite trick. First, dig a deep hole. Then, cover it with straw and bait it with honey. Tonight, the beast will smell the bait, stumble into the trap, and the island will be ours.
By evening, the trap was completed. The mice spent a sleepless night in a nearby hole. The next morning, they discovered that the trap and the honey jar were empty.
Look! Shrieked Hannah. Someone cut the rope! The ship is gone! We're marooned! Our only chance now, said Bouncer, is to get rid of the SKOG before he gets rid of us. Who will volunteer?
It looks like a job for you and the rough-riding rowdies, said Jenny.
Whose idea was it to come here anyway?
All eyes turned back to Jenny, who had been thinking of a plan. We must build a giant kite, she said, and tie it to a very long rope. We'll circle our last honey jar with one end of the rope, and when the SKOG steps into the circle, we will send the kite aloft. The SKOG will be pulled into the air and towed out to sea. That night, the mice hid behind a sand dune and kept watch over the honey jar. Just after dawn, a shadowy figure appeared on the beach. The monstrous creature lurched toward the honey jar. Trembling, the mice sent their kite high into the ocean wind.
The plan had worked. But suddenly, the SKOG came flapping apart, and half of him plunged back to the island. Surrender, you pirate!
Suddenly, a little animal appeared.
Don't hurt me, he cried.
We won't hurt you, said Wooster.
We were afraid of you. Why did you wear this monster costume? Because I was afraid of you, cried the SKOG. I was frightened by your cannons and your trap. So I wore this monster costume to scare you away. What happened to our ship? Demanded Bouncer. I cut the rope because I thought you were sleeping on board. I've been so lonely here, but I decided it was better to be alone than to be afraid.
Then the mice realized that they had done the same thing to the SKOG that their enemies in the old country had done to them.
If only we'd talk to each other,
said Jenny.
Bouncer stepped forward and helped the SKOG to his feet. The mice and the SKOG agreed to build a new island nation and live together. Let's make plans right now, suggested Bouncer. The first thing we'll need is a national anthem. Rowdies, you're the orchestra. The rest of you will be the chorus, and I will lead the music. Line up, everybody.
Well, Bouncer was certainly up to his old tricks again. But everybody thought that a national anthem was a pretty good idea.
Heroes, let your voices ring. To our island home we sing. Shelter us from stormy seas. Keep our kitchen stuffed with cheese. Save our pelts from lice and fleas. Save our pelts from fleas and lice. Shout it once. Shout it twice. Friends forever. SKOG and mice.
They sang chorus after chorus and soon went to work building their new island home. And they are probably still there.